Hi. Happy Friday. So, today I was pondering the download I got was making a non-attachment. Non-attachment, I've covered it a little bit in the past. But non-attachment is has a lot to do with growth, and I'll tell you why and how that works. Uh, Anytime you're attached to, let's say, either an energy that's being projected at you or an energy that you're holding on to in the past, it always limits your creative potential in what you're doing now and limits your ability to transmute energy. There's so much to cover here. I'll give you start with an example that I put a post in somebody's YouTube video. It was either yesterday or the day before. So I just saw somebody that had a cat that looks just like my cat. And so I made a comment. I said, hey, look, I have a cat just like that, but he is such a pain in the butt. Whenever I get down on the floor and do yoga in the morning, he comes up to me and starts molesting me. And I used that word, not even thinking about it, because that's a word that, we used all the time growing up, just as somebody bothering you, right? But so immediately I think it was within like 30 minutes to an hour, I got somebody coming on to my cause. Hey, we don't, use that kind of language, in a healed channel. And I sat back and thought about it. And so I revised the comment and said, yeah, I probably should have used better words there. The cat was bothering me, whatever. And then the same person that, tried to correct my comment came in and said, hey, your demons are showing, better luck in 2024. I just said, good job, Demon Slayer. Right? Because, it's like, so that, more than likely, the person that probably made that comment maybe had, and maybe it was just honest mistake, or generally I don't try to regulate comments in people's stuff, right? You read through comments, and if you find something that's supportive, great, support it. But if somebody's saying something, that you just don't agree with, I just don't mess with it, right? Because it's not my job to, regulate somebody else's YouTube channel. It just doesn't make sense to me. On the same side, it's like you have to stay in non-attachment when somebody projects an energy at you, and you have to think, okay, what's going on here? Maybe I don't know. So you always stay in non-attachment, and non-attachment has a lot to do with, when you're leaving people in the past, to make sure that you're not, energy's not being drawn and like obsessing over someone. Social media has created this animal where social groups that you might not resonate with anymore might still be trying to draw your attention. And if you're getting your attention drawn into groups that maybe you don't resonate anymore, it's pulling you away from whatever it is you're trying to create for yourself, if that makes sense. And so they're still projecting an energy. All of us are projecting or reproducing an energy of wherever we're at. And so that's what you're attracting into your environment. And I'm always questioning everybody's projections of energy and statements that they make. Like, for instance, somebody made a post about coaching today. And, coaching is a way for you to help somebody that might need help doing something, and selling a service that way. But, I like to look at, there's always two sides to the coin, right? There's always two sides to every coin. And so I just posed an honest question because I like to hear people's responses when I pose this question. And if you're watching this channel, you always know this question. So if you're selling a coaching service to someone who already has money, do they need your advice? They already have money. Shouldn't you just be advising them to create something for themselves? Now, there's flip sides of the coin. I think coaching has a lot of specific purposes. Like, I could find somebody that I need help like training me how to do something, or teaching me how to do something specific, if it's a specific skill set. But if I don't have the money, I've got to learn it for myself, right? So unless you're partner with people that have that skill set, then you've got to pay somebody else to take, because you're paying for someone else's time, and time is money in our economy. But is time money? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. My time is worth more than any monetary value I can place on it, which is why I, have promoted people to give their time freely to each other, and then whenever they need something, just ask for it. And if you're in a place where you can always do that for yourself, then you'll always receive what you need. And if there's anything you want to learn, I mean, there's so much information out there. You can always learn something for free. There really isn't anything that you can't learn for yourself in today's society that you can't probably get for free somewhere, right? And so, to me, coaching is a field that's going to be going away, that we're going to be partnering together, and I'm staying in non-attachment, non-judgment, because coaching had its purpose for a short amount of time, and coaching was there to help a system that was feeding off of each other. But unknowingly, that coaching service stayed in that same energetic pattern, because you're actually feeding on the entity that's feeding on itself in order to help it, if that makes sense, right? So somebody that is internally conflicted needs coaching to follow their inner, instead of just following their inner guidance to see what it is they need to be doing for the people around them. And so you don't want to judge that situation. When you're seeing it from a higher perspective, it's just working from conflict to no conflict and trust into a co-creative system. So if any of you are watching this video and you guys are coaches, please don't, I am not, in any way throwing blame or judgment in any way, right? Because we're just moving from one thing to another, and we're going to start seeing, and I got confirmation on this earlier today, and it's something that I've been seeing in the market. We're going to start seeing very, very large corporations start to crumble. I don't know in what ways, but and it all has to do with the controlling of energy, right? When somebody's pulling off of you all the time, and you realize that you're just pouring your energy into someone else, and you're not getting an equal exchange of energy, then you're just gonna, this biofield we're living in, everyone's growing more sensitive to the energies around it. As that sensitivity heightens, then more and more people are going to start pulling away. I wrote a article on theheartchakra.com, or the Heart Chakra News, that I started on LinkedIn. I might pick that up next month. I haven't decided whether I'm going to pick that up. I wrote 4 episodes. I wrote a 5th episode about Kung Fu Hustle and The Hook, but I don't know if I'm going to put that in my second book or if I'm just going to throw that in an article. I haven't decided. I really want to work on the second book and just make it something for people to read and understand how to control your energy, how to stay in non-attachment so you continue to grow, and then you become more sensitive to when it feels like somebody is pulling off your energy, if that makes sense. And staying in non-attachment and being able to keep that, because you want to stay in unconditional love for everybody and just allow people to go through whatever it is they need to go through, until you start getting in relationships where you're propping each other up and you're just pushing into each other. That's a healthy relationship and a healthy group to work in. And so right now, that's what I'm working on, is creating at least a business model to let people see how that would look from the outside. And there's a lot of different ways when you get into bigger and bigger organizations, how that starts to function, especially when decisions need to get made, when there's conflicting interests in a business. I've been involved in just about every possible scenario you can think of where you have competing interests, because I worked for Grant County PUD, or a dam that has For one thing, they have so many external controls that they have to worry about. I can't think of another business entity in the world that has more external controls placed on them than a publicly owned utility that is accessing a local water source. Because the water source comes from Canada, Montana. The Columbia River originates in Montana, so it goes through Canada, comes back down. And so there's Columbia River agreements. There's fish recovery efforts. And all these external controls are put on it, and at the same time you have, from the inside, in order to manage the thing, you have preventative maintenance, corrective maintenance, serving the public, because you're actually providing a service for the public. So, I mean, managing that is a real struggle. And I saw the struggles that management team went through, and all you have to do is follow the control circuit. And this is true for your own life. If you follow the control circuit for your own life, manage your external controls, stay in non-attachment to the outcome, and continue to provide positive creative energy for your environment. And that's how you change any system from the inside out. You keep breathing into it. And you have to be patient. Right? It's a long it's not easy. It's not going to, it doesn't happen overnight. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is stay consistent, and it will test your faith. And even people that are living in some kind of illusion or delusion that are attacking you. And I hear a lot of stories on YouTube and other places, and even personal stories about people that are, been spiritually attacked in some way or some way. The best way to do that is to stay in non-attachment. And when you're just cutting it off, say, hey, look, we're not in the same place right now. I'll catch you later. When it feels like if I'm resonating with you, reach out and I will work on my discernment later, and I'll let you know if I want you in my life, right? As simple as that. I get no less this week alone, and this is for me, and I don't know if that's somebody, I stay in non-attachment, right? I don't judge, but I get one reach out a day on LinkedIn. Somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, my boss would like to get a hold of you because it looks like you've got a lot of talents and abilities on your LinkedIn profile. What's your WhatsApp number or phone number? And I'm just like, hey, here's my Calendly link. I'd love to meet up. You can use my Calendly link or I can use yours. Simple message, right? Let's have a meeting. And they're like, my boss, doesn't do meetings. I just need your WhatsApp number or phone number. Delete immediately, right? Why would I... If there's somebody that is unwilling to meet with you when they reach out to you, cut them off, right? What's the point? There's no, there's somebody just there trying to draw your energy, right? Because they're trying to get you involved in like a texting relationship. Texting relationships really don't hold any water for me, right? If I want to get to know somebody, I want to at least meet you virtually and get to know you. And, depending how close you live, maybe we can meet up sometime. But, or once I meet up with you virtually and we want to start calling each other and talking to each other on the phone, that's great. But to be perfectly honest, I really don't like sending and receiving recorded messages to each other. I think that's one of the most dysfunctional ways to communicate. So if you're watching this video and you have any interest in me at all and want to, get to know me in any way, I'd love to have a meeting with you. And if we're going to communicate with each other, it's going to be in a phone conversation where we can talk directly back and forth to each other. I don't want to record messages to you. I don't want to receive recorded messages from you. If you need specific times to speak, great. All right. Those boundaries, our society is kind of growing dysfunctional because of technology, when you think about it. if technology enables you to not have direct conversations with anybody anymore, that's a problem, right? Um, yeah, it just. But you have to stay in non-attachment, right? I mean, eventually you'll end up just talking to AI all the time. If somebody's going to accept you just talking to each other in recorded messages, then technically once AI gets good enough, you wouldn't have to talk to anybody. You could be talking to 100,000 people and have your AI bot talking to them for you, leaving recorded messages using your voice, because AI now can take voices of people and actually like sing songs of other artists in another artist's voice. Not kidding, right? So think about that for a little bit. Think about where we're going and what boundaries you should be setting to make sure that you're interacting with each other in a healthy way, in healthy relationships. Make sure you're setting the right boundaries. It's just goofy. When you think about it, just totally goofy. The social media experiment is interesting because you're getting a lot of information and a lot of projected energies out there. So you have to make sure that you're staying, in non-attachment and just, okay, what it is that I want to provide for this, right? And so that's just something that I always usually kind of get into a state every morning and think about, how can I provide not only some supportive energy to make it so that I would love to hear the input of the people around me, because I want to make sure that they know that they are important to me if I'm interacting with them in a post. And at the same time, question the energy that they're projecting in a non-combative way. Because if you can get people in a questioning mode to think about, okay, let's think about this for a second, especially when it comes to coaching. Because obviously, you're in a much more beneficial environment if you can learn how to trust and set the right relationship boundaries and work together. Because now other people that have less money and need the most help can start working together in a system where you're growing something together. That's when you start building creative energy. There's no creative energy being built when you're just selling coaching services, right? Nothing's being created. You're just feeding off of each other and telling each other what to do. You're not using your creative energy to build something inspired from your heart space, right? Or you're not connecting with other hearts to build something that's creative, right? Love you guys. I'm going to post this video on LinkedIn and Facebook. And if you're watching this video, please give me some feedback about this video and tell me what you think. I'm not here to judge, you just want to make sure that you always question the direction that society's going, why it's going there, and the reason it's going there. Because this is a big soulless thing, and all it is about love. And it's about how you're loving the people around you so that you can receive the same love that you want to give them back, right? It has nothing to do with trying to make money, it's all about love, about how you're breaking down the boundaries to make sure that people understand that you want to prop each other up and value each other and share in each other's abilities with each other in a very clean and energetic way without running through any kind of conflicting, things, right? So I love you guys. I hope this message was helpful for whoever needed to hear it. If you'd like to connect with me, I think there's a link in this, or you can contact me at bcurtis@bcurtis.org. You can support this channel if you'd like to. I think there's a link. If you'd like to support me or the work I'm doing, you can check out circuitbreaker.com. Circuit Breaker with a K. Yeah. And this is the work that I want to do, right? To make sure that we're connecting in a way that is going to prop each other up. And in that way, we're expanding our auric fields. This is another thing that happens when you stay in non-attachment. You're expanding. If you watch a tree grow, expansion is painful. It's all patience and just moving forward. And when you're not focused on money and you're only focused on propping each up energetically, it forces you to overcome pain that nobody else is having to go through. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. Right? Readers go through this, tarot card readers go through that. And that's why one reason I've always loved watching tarot card readers, because they've built a channel up and just naturally attracted what those people need to hear from spirit, right? And so just by me speaking, a lot of the things that I said today, I had no idea what I was going to talk about. But whoever's watching this obviously needs to hear that, right? So, love you guys. Have a great day, and we'll catch you later. Bye.